Harvey ripped through southeast Texas, it packed some punches. So much devastation, Wisconsin Red Cross volunteer Tom Poe caught a flight to Houston first thing Sunday morning.
I know the devastation the people are going through. I've been on these out before, and they need help, and I just want to get out there and help them.
Brookfield natives Brianne and Trish Johnson just moved to the Houston area a month ago.
At one point, we were completely surrounded by water.
They recorded cell phone video of Harvey's impact from their apartment window in Webster, Texas.
We'd go into the closet and then come on out, watch the news a little bit, another tornado warning back in. And so, because with it being dark and the rain coming down as hard, you could not tell whether or not there was a tornado or not.
Former Green Bay Packer player Greg Cook's Houston area home is now without power, and he hasn't gone outside since Harvey hit.
We've had 22 inches of rain in about the last 14 hours, and they're expecting us to have, in the next 2 days, probably another 25 inches of rain.
But he's hopeful his fellow Houstonians will overcome this.
Pewaukee native J.J. Watt is stepping up to help the Houston area.
Yeah, the Houston Texans star posted this message on Facebook.
But that's our city. It's very tough to watch your city get hit by such a bad storm and not be there to help. Not be there to help with the recovery, not be there to help with the process. It's very tough.
Watt has launched a You Caring fundraiser online. It's already raised almost $225,000 since he posted it this afternoon.
Guys, they are loading up this emergency response vehicle right now. What they're doing right now is they're going through a master checklist, just making sure they have everything they need. It's set to leave any minute now. There are already 47 Wisconsin volunteers in Texas. There are 15 more who are just waiting. They're ready to go as soon as they get their assignment from the Red Cross. The Red Cross tells me they expect damage from Harvey to be even worse than the damage we saw from Katrina, so they need all hands on deck. They're saying so far they've been pretty happy with the response that they've gotten. People keep coming through the door to volunteer, and the phones are ringing off the hook with donations. But conditions near Houston making it difficult to help. Volunteers are being sent to Dallas right now because Houston is so dangerous they aren't sending people in or out. The Red Cross is offering a faster training process for people willing to go. We talked to a woman today who signed up for that trip. She says it's going to be tough, but it's worth it.
To try to see if I can be of some help in Houston. They are in a big problem. It's a good feeling to help your fellow people in this situation.
Urgent plea for blood to help with the emergency response in Texas. Southeast Wisconsin already answering the call. The Wisconsin Blood Center tells us it will be shipping out blood for Texas just hours from now. They're told Texas is in dire need of all blood types. O negative and positive have turned out to be the most critical. A Wisconsin woman now living near Houston is awaiting her second child in the middle of this storm. Morning News anchor Jessica Tai is here with her story. Wow, Jessica.
I know, exactly. There's so many concerns during pregnancy. Imagine throwing a hurricane into the mix. Amy Fleming grew up in Appleton. She's actually a relative of mine. Her house is not flooded, but the major highways to get to the hospitals are. She is due on Saturday. Now she's working on a plan B in case this baby comes sooner.
I'm very nervous. Maybe I could find someone in the neighborhood that would be able to deliver my baby at my house, but that's desperate measures if it comes down to that.
She might use the Nextdoor app. Other people around Houston are using it too to send urgent messages, especially those in need of rescue. Amy's fingers are crossed that the rain stops and the flooding goes down before the baby comes. But I just talked with her in the last hour and it was raining again. In fact, we saw that during the live shot at the top of the show. They also had tornadoes in the Houston area yesterday. So many personal stories coming to the light in the wake of Hurricane Harvey. This is just one of them.
Yeah, you can hear. We've offered to reach out to see whatever assistance they need, whether it's in helping with even temporary, even long-term placement for individuals who might be displaced, or even just sending equipment.
We are there for you is the message Governor Scott Walker is sending to Texas. He says the Wisconsin National Guard has not yet been activated, but has pledged to do so if officials in Texas need additional help.
Mike, Michelle, local charities here in Wisconsin are telling us that they are seeing an outpouring of support right now, but they want to warn the community that if you are going to donate, that you do so wisely. They say it's crucial that you research the organizations to make sure they're legitimate. They recommend not donating to crowdfunding campaigns unless you personally know the organizers, and they say it's better to donate money through credit cards or checks since it'll help you keep track of it.
Right now, immediately, as this is still going on, actually, gifts of clothing and other stuff like that may not be the best thing to help immediately because they aren't even letting trucks come down there. You know, people on the ground, they need cash, they need resources, and some of these places, again, I'll just say like the American Red Cross, know exactly what to do and they can do it.
Now, again, right now they're asking that folks not donate clothing or household items because there just isn't anywhere to store them.
Yeah, imagine being 18 years old, born and raised near Houston, Texas. You're excited to go to college. Your parents helped move you up to Mequon, only to have a few days later you hear about damage to your family's home, and you're so far away that there's not much that you can really do about it. Falcons football practice is a good place for players to let out their aggression, their frustration. But for Carter Kidd, a freshman from Cypress, Texas, it might be a needed distraction.
At one point, I couldn't contact my mom and dad, so I kind of freaked out. I got a little worried. That's when I started asking questions about it. I guess my parents were trying to keep it away from me as long as possible.
Hurricane Harvey wasn't on Kidd's radar at all when he moved into the dorms on the 15th. Since leaving, he says so many people he knows are hurting, including both sets of his grandparents.
He's now raised more than $4 million, so he's upped his goal to $5 million. And on top of that, his family is collecting donations here at home. CBS 58's Amanda Porterfield has that story.
People in Pewaukee are putting together a pretty big care package to send to Texas, and they have their hearts in it.
I've got food and I marked it all. Love from Pewaukee, Wisconsin.
What made you do that?
Just so they know we love them and that we're pulling for them all.
It's absolutely heartbreaking. I couldn't imagine being in their shoes.
Pewaukee High School's cafeteria is filling up fast with dozens of boxes of crackers, jars of peanut butter, plastic silverware, and even pet food, all at the request of former student and football star J.J. Watt.
I thought that was really cool of J.J., and that just kind of speaks to the kind of guy he is. He's always been a supportive, just an all-around nice guy.
What you see is what you get. He's been that way his whole life.
He's happy to be able to make the ask of everybody, and then everybody just steps up to it.
The J.J. Watt Foundation asks that you only bring new, unopened items like these to donate, and they say despite all of the flooding, the thing people there need the most right now is water.
The reason that we're kind of specific about our location is because we are putting things into boxes so that when those get down there, JJ can turn around and hand a box to people that is filled and sealed with things.
Watt's mom, Connie, and volunteers organized all of this in a day. The goal is to get it to Texas by the end of the week to give people there a helping hand as soon as possible.
I think this gives them a little hope that people do care with our country the way it is right now. I think this helps a lot.
Good to see the community coming together. Amanda Porterfield reporting there. You can drop off your donation tomorrow from 7:30 a.m. until 8 p.m. And again,
Mike and Michelle, it's really incredible to see just how much has been donated so far. I mean, since we got here, cars have been coming nonstop. Volunteers are working hard to keep up. And inside, there are tables and tables of donations. The items are being sorted and boxed, everything from peanut butter to tuna to blankets, the things that people really need right now in those flooded areas. Water is already been loaded onto a truck, and tomorrow the rest of the items will be packed up, and there is still time to donate.
Mercury Marine is packing up engines and inflatable boats in boxes like these. They're loading them up in the back of these trucks, and they're shipping them off to Texas. In the last 36 hours, workers have shipped 30 engines and 10 inflatable boats. These boats will help emergency responders get to places that are flooded in order to help those in need. This is not the first time Mercury Marine has stepped in to help. Company also gave back during Hurricanes Katrina and Sandy.
While Texas struggles, the nationwide effort to help the flood victims continues. And Wisconsin's own J.J. Watt is still one of the leading figures in that effort.
There's so many people out there that want to help. We just needed somebody to organize it. And I'm just very glad that I could use my flat platform to help organize it.
Well, Bill, Kate, we're used to seeing these big red kettles out collecting money during the holidays, but tomorrow morning, these seats will be filled with Salvation Army workers that are ready to take your call and your donation. Now, we spoke to officials today who tell us what they're exactly doing with that money and why they say you should pick up the phone. The Salvation Army is always standing by and ready to help.
We'll be there as long as it takes.
Especially in the midst of a national disaster.
An exciting update for sure. So far, we've already raised a total of $160,000 in just a few short hours, all thanks to the help of these volunteers. Again, we partnered with the Salvation Army, and it's really all thanks to you in the community. People have been donating anywhere from $10 and up, and it's really going to make a difference.
One by one, semi-trucks pulled out of the Pewaukee High School parking lot, stuffed with supplies donated to the Texas flood victims. This an effort spearheaded by Houston Texans football star and Pewaukee native J.J. Watt's Foundation and his mom. She coordinated the effort here and talked to CBS 58 as those trucks were pulling away.
It's very overwhelming and emotional, as you can probably see now as we're wrapping things up. I just can't believe what we've all done here. We started 3 days ago and thought we were going to fill one semi, and we're filling about 8 semis, and it's just the amount of support and the people that came out, the stories we've heard, the tears we've shared, it's just wonderful.
J.J. Watt's online campaign for flood relief donations has soared past every goal that was set. At last check, more than $12 million has been donated. The new goal, $15 million.
Amanda, the Justin J. Watt Foundation has raised more than $18 million, and that number continues to grow. Today, they handed out supplies that were donated right here in southeastern Wisconsin.
There you go, you're all set.
People lined up in their cars waiting for the basics. These boxes were packed with water, food, and cleaning supplies, and many of them left with a handshake, an autograph, and a hug.
Thank you.
When it's personal and when it hits that close to home, it takes it to a whole new level. And I think that's what's been so special about this, is to see the reaction from Houstonians, from people around America.
In 1 week, the J.J. Watt Foundation has raised more than $18 million, and they haven't spent the money yet.
Because I know people are trusting me with their money to make sure that I make the right decisions. I'm taking my time. I'm going to make sure that I do this thing right, because this is a long-term project. It's not a 1 day, not a 1 week, not a 1 year project.
For now, J.J. Watt and the Houston Texans players are working to get the 10 semi-trucks worth of donated items to those in need.
Excellent on the field, we cheer for them, but today we're cheering for them in the community, and they're helping people in their moment of need.
Unbelievable volunteers, and then all this stuff came down from Wisconsin, so everybody back there.
9 trucks traveled more than 1,100 miles from Wisconsin, and these boxes are more than just donations. They're symbols of hope to keep Houston strong.
Our city obviously needs an immense amount of help, and it's going to take a lot of hands, it's going to take a lot of money. But as long as we all do our part, and as long as we all try and contribute whatever we can, we will get this city back. We will get this city to be stronger than it's ever been.